Yeah, I mean, like Coach Morris was saying, I mean, we played Georgia every year for I think 3 years in a row or 2 years in a row, and so we're real familiar with those guys, just like he was saying. But again, like Coach said, we're really focused on an offense from standpoint on ourselves this week. You know, there's a lot of unknowns in this week one with a new staff, and you know, right now we're just focused on ourselves and not let SMU beat SMU.
When you look at their offensive staff, you can look at Graham Harrell and make certain assumptions about what's coming. When you look at their defensive staff, what kind of system do you expect to see?
You know, we've been watching a lot of Georgia, where the defensive coordinator came from, and we've been focusing on that, and we've been trying to take things here and there, little bits and pieces of what we've read and all that kind of stuff, and try to piece everything together, like Coach was saying. But we've watched a whole lot of Georgia tape and just trying to get ready. But again, just taking the things that we've done really well in fall camp and the things that our senior quarterback knows and is good with, and taking those into the game. And we feel like whatever defense they put out there, whatever schematic defense they want to put out there, we'll feel really comfortable with it because we're running the best things we do. So we've again just focusing on ourselves more than them. It helps Matt a ton because he's gonna snap the ball more plays. And anytime we did a study a couple years ago, we felt like every 7 snap we scored a point every time we had 7 plays. So the more over 80, 85 we could snap the ball, the more points we felt like we could score. Matt thinks on his toes. He's a very smart kid that knows our system in and out and makes the proper checks and gets us in the right protections and all that, and he can do it at a fast pace. So I think the biggest thing that helps him is we're going to snap it more plays in the game and give us a chance to score more points. So can you say that again, sir? I didn't hear your first part of that. Yeah, I mean, this year I challenged all of our guys that what we did in the spring, we didn't start over day one in the fall. I mean, that would just be pointless for a lot of our guys to go back through day one install that we did in the spring, and that those guys did player led workouts all summer doing, and so. I think that would have really slowed us down. So from that standpoint, we've added more things. We've done a couple different things with how we're calling formations, how we're calling plays. So we've really added on to our offense and really got more tools in the toolbox, so to speak, this year.
Coach mentioned last year he didn't use this word, but almost like you were handcuffed, where you slowed down the pace midway through because you were lacking in depth and all that. How much closer to 100% are you this year to doing what you want to do?
Yeah, coaches gave us full reign on offense to turn it loose and have fun with it, go as fast as we possibly can play. A lot of it was we were handcuffed by some young guys, a lot of young guys in some critical positions in this offense playing. But we also felt like, just talking with our defensive staff, every week, they kind of wanted us to slow down just a little bit, just to give us a better chance to win. Like Coach said in his press conference, this year we got some guys out there that can play, and we're not as worried about that as we were last year. So this year he's giving us full reign. Let's rock and roll, put it in the left leg, and let the hammer down, and try to snap it as many times as we can. Because again, we feel like we can score more points doing that.
You and Coach Morris both have talked about how it's not ideal to get so much of your rushing game out of your quarterback. How do you reduce the hits on Matt this year?
Yeah, well, like I said all year since he's sitting here, he's got to learn to get down. Get what he can and get down, and he's been working on that. He's done a great job in fall camp of actually pulling out a couple baseball slides, in fall camp and working that. I think he learned his lesson the hard way last year, and this year, from a design run standpoint, we're going to run him when we need him, and he knows that. But when it's not a design run, and we haven't scripted that, or we hadn't said, Matt don't need to carry it more than 6, 7 times, 8 times a game, and he kind of pulls it down and runs, he knows now that he's got to get down. So that'll help him for sure.
Do you envision more college football teams going to a Chip Kelly kind of offense?
I mean, Chip Kelly, Chad Morris, Joe Craddock. I think to me as an offensive coach, I think again the more times you can snap it, the more times you can put pressure on the defense, and by playing fast, I think it'd be fair to ask any defensive coordinator in the country. That's tough. It's tough to get your call in. It's tough to get lined up, especially with the different formations we have, the different motions we use. I think it's really tough on a defensive coordinator, and I think it's really tough on them getting that call in and then having 18 to 22-year-olds get lined up properly to different formations and playing that fast-paced, up-tempo offense. I definitely think that if you're an offensive coach out there, looking for something new, I think it's good. But again, you got to do what you do and do what you know best, and that's something we've been doing for a long time now, and we feel really comfortable with it. And then from a play caller standpoint, it's just knowing where your guys are and getting them in the same spot to run the next play as fast as you can. You really got to be a couple plays ahead to do it. But if you can do that, and I think another thing we do is how we game plan. We game plan in a way that we can stay one step ahead. We can stay 2 steps ahead if needed. And I definitely think, again, if you're an offensive coach out there that wants to score more points, play faster, try to snap it more times. Yeah, like Coach Moore says all the time, either you got speed or you're chasing it, and so we're always constantly trying to recruit some fast guys here, and I think we've done a pretty good job of that. We brought in Joshua Shellmeyer. You can turn on his highlight tape and see how fast he is. I mean, he can really run. We brought in Brendan Benson, again state champion last year. We beat some big time schools on Brandon. And, again, we just always constantly looking for different guys that can run. Kamen Freeman is not a blazer, but he can run well enough. And he was a high school quarterback that when we signed him, we didn't know where we'd put him, but he was a football player. And he might not get out there and run a 4.4 40, when you got a clock on him, but his football speed speaks for itself. But again, we're always trying to bring in guys that can run because again, you either got it or you're chasing it.
The running backs, what have you seen year 2 improvement from Xavier and Braden? What is some freshman rank you might not have last year?
Yeah, I mean, just from the running backs even to the running backs coach. I mean, everybody's in year 2, and that goes for all of our staff and all of our players. We're in year 2. And I think from the running back core, with Braden and Xavier being guys that played as true freshmen last year, I think they did a great job. But I think that there was a lot of things they left out there that they didn't know because they were just trying to keep their head above water so they didn't drown a lot of the time. But they've done a really good job of picking up the system, knowing protections in particular. They're a lot more savvy in protection and blitz pickup and so they've done a really good job with all that. Now, again, turning the page to this year, you got 2 more freshmen, so it's a matter of getting those guys ready to go and to where they don't feel like they're out there drowning in the water as well.
When you face a team with a new staff like this, how much of your study and preparation is focused on what you know about the coaching staff, and how much is focused on the strengths and weaknesses of the personnel that you saw last year?
Yeah, to me, it's more about where the coaches came from. They're going to do what they do. I mean, I think if it was like me, if I were to take another job tomorrow, I'm not going to go somewhere and run the wishbone. So whatever they've done in the past, just kind of get those coaches, try to find out where they've been and who they've been with, and kind of match up the games in the past that they've played that is similar to our offense and how they broke them down and how they played them. I think that's really what we've done more than anything is just look at where those coaches have been, again, because they're not going to do something that is just totally crazy that they don't really that doesn't fit them. And so we've done more of that than look at last year's game and last year's personnel and all that.
The offense has improved from last season. Now, seeing with the high up-tempo offense that you guys do have, how much of that will be used for the running game?
Well, let me stop you there. We don't know yet if we're better this year from last year. We don't know. We got more talent. but we got to go out there and prove it. And these guys have worked hard ever since January, ever since the last game of the season last year. They've been working hard. And so we got to go out there and prove it, though. We do have more talent. We do have more weapons, but we still got to go prove it. The up-tempo offense, again, we're doing a couple of different new things you'll see on Saturday where it's designed, run and pass. We have our run game in as well as we have some throws off of it if we need to. And then we have just straight, pass plays, too, that are playing fast. So a lot of it's for the run game, a lot of it's for the pass game as well. So it's kind of a mixture. Thank you all.